What's on YouTube? It's PTT back at it with another Division video. Today, agents, we are talking the end of high-end builds. Now, that might sound a little bit dramatic. Granted, I will give you that. But in this video, I want to talk about a few issues that I have had raised to me, and on further investigation and looking into things, actually, I think there is a point and we should definitely talk about it. Okay, now I don't want this video to be completely negative, so we're going to go over the issues first, and then I'm going to go over some potential solutions to save us losing build diversity. Okay, I think the Division is in a very good place at the moment where you can pretty much run anything. There are so many number of builds now for various things that in its own is very, very good. I don't want to see that go with the implementation of classified gear sets. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. What I would like to do first is pull up a quote from a previous video. That's kind of what started this video and made me look into things. So I'm going to pull that up now. You can see it is by BJ Spurlock. So massive thank you to you for pointing this out to me and letting me go off and put my thinking hat on and see the bigger issue. So BJ said, the one problem I see with this is making the Skull MC gloves irrelevant. Who would rock those for the extra 16% DPS if they could run, say, a 3-piece Alpha Bridge and 2-piece Predator with the Ninja Backpack, basically activating the 4-piece Alpha Bridge and 3-piece Predator Mark Talent for a combined total of between 23 to 28% more DPS. Maybe if you allow the talent on the gloves to work for 2-piece talents but not for 3, or more piece talents, or raising DPS on the Skull's glove talent to keep high-end builds as a viable option. Now, this was actually aimed at the changes coming to the Ninja Backpack, but they did make me think, okay, high-end builds. I managed to go onto the PTS and look at all the different classified sets that are there now, all the different bonuses with them, and they made me think that it's not only the Skull's MC gloves that might be coming irrelevant later down the line. Okay, there are a lot of other exotics that potentially could be outdated, underwhelmed, and completely useless. So we're going to talk about those now, right? What are the problems with classified gear sets impacting high-end builds in the future? Well, classified gear rolls higher stats for starters, okay? So currently the gear rolls a maximum of 1,272 as a maximum stat for firearms, stamina and electronics, but classified gear will roll from 1,274 to 1,401. They are the current values on week 2 PTS, okay? Like I said, they could change. Now, if we actually look at the current max set roll to whatever you want, then you can roll a maximum of 7,632, split into whatever you want, okay? Firearms, stamina, electronics. That is, of course, the main stat, guys. That isn't including the 200 and something that you get on the other two that aren't your main stat. However, with classified gear sets, that number can be reached up to 8,406. That's an increase of 774 on your base stats. Now, that much of an increase on its own may not be enough to kill off builds. I agree. It certainly won't help, though, for reasons that we will cover later on. Next, then, classified requires 6 pieces to be equipped to have all bonuses active. Therefore, there is no mixing and matching and adding exotics into the build. So straight up there, we kind of lose some ability to run those shortbow pads for your PvP build or your Pharaoh's masks for your PvE, right? Bottom line from this statement, lower build diversity 0.1. Next then, classified now offer better options to increase DPS, skill and health. This is because of the ability to roll from 1,274 to 1,401 as a main stat, and the 5 and 6 piece bonuses that are offered on classified gear sets, right? Let's look at exotics quickly to make a point. Currently, the Barrett's chest piece offers you a 10% skill power increase when no skills are active, a 5% increase to damage when 1 skill is active, and a 10% armor increase when 2 skills are active. This can now be matched in several different ways from both classified gear sets on their own and through messenger backpack hybrid builds, okay? One of the gear sets I do want to pull up here is Final Measure, okay? For those of you who don't know, I will pull it on screen. Final Measure 6-piece talent. When a grenade is defused, the player and all group members within 30 meters gain a buff. based on the grenade type that was defused. So if you defuse EMP or shock, you will get a skill power increase by 15% for 8 seconds. High E incendiary, weapon damage is increased by 15% for 8 seconds. And a flashbang tear gas grenade will increase your armor by 15% for 8 seconds. So already there, you've got 2 that are the same as the Barrett's chest but in higher values, and you get the extra weapon damage from it as well. So you can already see, guys, we're starting to have some issues with high-end builds. Next then, the Pharaoh's Mask offers up the ability to run and shoot your weapon while burning. Well, the new Reclaimer set bonus now makes this a tad unneeded, as the immunizer effect actually does that for you. The shortbow pads, well, they don't actually offer any statistical increase to any of your stats, so we can kind of skip past them. They're there for, you know, the optional, I want to throw a grenade and it go off instantly, more so for PvP than PvE. The Ninja Backpack, we know, okay, is changing, and I will link a video in the description down below talking about how powerful I actually think this could be if it stays the way it is going to stay. Then we get to the Skulls MC gloves, and I pulled it up earlier, but I will pull up the comment again from the previous video, because this comment, as I said, it made me start looking into all of this and working out why exotic and high-end builds could possibly be no more in 1.7. So, yeah. As you can see, guys, right, the 16% damage increase that would come from a Skull set of gloves, and obviously with that a high-end build, because you have to be in a full high-end build, or no, sorry, not necessarily a full high-end build, but you can't have any gear set bonuses on it. And, you know, that kind of, it's kind of outweighed yet again by hybrid messenger builds. It's also negated by well-built teams with, let's say, the new classified final measure, tacticians running in a team together when we get the tacticians classified gear sets come out. And let's not even get started on Firecrest builds with urban MDRs, you know, when they're built right for maximum damage output. So, yeah. As you can see, guys, right, in my opinion, we're slowly killing off our ability to run high-end exotic builds if we want to maximise our agent. And let's be honest, we are all about maximising our agent. Whether you're a DPS build and you want to maximise your damage, if you're a healer build and you want to maximise healing the team, if you're a skill build but you go for the damage skills, you know, you want your one-shot seekers, your one-shot stickies, things like that, you have to spec very specifically for those builds. Next, let's take a look at the messenger pack, okay, because this for me will be one of few exotics that are still viable. As the example earlier showed, you can run several different hybrid builds that will increase your damage by far more than the MC gloves. Lone Star offers 8% damage increase to LMGs and shotguns. Firecrest offers 15% weapon damage to burning targets, combined with the Urban MDR's extra damage. You know, you've got the Alpha Bridge set still offering incredible damage output. Predator's Mark offers up 8% assault rifle and SMG damage. All of these combined in the right way can outdo the damage of running a full high-end set to activate the Skulls MC gloves. Then we can look at how to negate things like Barrett's chest. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but with the combination of tacticians and reclaimers and obviously, you know, final measure, let's not forget about the good old Nomad set, okay, in several ways, can be an amazing gear set on its own. Teamed up with various other set bonuses is even better. So, again, I hate to say it, but I honestly can see some build diversity going down the drain with classified gear sets coming in if things don't change. Let's move on to the Bliss's holster, okay? In my opinion, right now, with the 6-piece Sentry, Bliss's holster becomes pretty pointless. Let's look at the Bliss's holster, right, and actually show why. So, currently hitting a target consecutively with a sidearm increases your damage by 2% for 20 seconds and stacks 10 times. That's 20%. However, with the new classified Sentry set, you can get to over 130% headshot damage from just 6 shots. Now, personally, on the PTS, I put 6 shots into the head of a named boss. He went from full armor and full health to dead. Simple. It just gives you that much damage that if you are looking at running a pistol build, you are going to want to run a 6-piece Sentry set over a build around Bliss's holster. So, yeah. Again, guys, I don't want this to be too negative, okay? I would love your thoughts and comments down below. I do want the feedback. I want to know what you guys think about high-end, hybrid, exotic builds going forward versus classified gear sets. But that's kind of the negative, okay? That's a bit of a roundup as to why I think classified sets will have a knock-on effect to some, not all, but some build diversity. let's talk about fixes now, okay? Because there are a few simple things I think can be done to make and leave high-end builds a viable option. First of all, you can increase the base rolls on exotics to match classified gear rolls, or you can have them somewhere in between. Maybe exotics can roll, let's say, between 1200 and 1300 as a main stat. That way they're a smidgen better than your normal gear sets, but not quite as good as classified gear. But closing the gap between them on the main stats will mean that you could give up some of the shortcomings from the exotic buffs by having extra main stats. Increase MC glove damage for high-end builds to match classified sets. Okay, this can be done very easily. You can raise the percentage of the MC gloves quite easily. Where was I? Yeah, get them to match sets and messenger backpack builds, and or make them work with 2-piece bonuses. We saw this earlier, okay, on gear sets, but not higher. Now, the reason for this is that no 2 pieces really offer you a major DPS boost, a major skill boost, a major health boost, okay? So I don't personally think you would have an unfair advantage, but you would have to outplay higher damage, higher skill builds with your personal skill and playstyle. Again, what do you think, guys? Do you think if the MC gloves worked with all 2-piece bonuses but no higher, it would break the game? Or do you think it would help bring them up a little bit so that they become usable with other builds? Next then, the Bliss holster, in my opinion, needs a direct buff, okay, to actually make it compete with sentries. Maybe increase the damage by a percentage. I'm not sure how much, rather than 2%, maybe let's try 4%. I don't know, but I do think that, again, if you want to keep high-end builds around, you need to bring these stats on the exotics up, because what is the point in going and using an underwhelmed exotic build if you have the option to run a classified set that is going to increase your stats? Next then, maybe you can have the bonuses to an exotic / high-end build to bring them in line with classified builds. Okay, so as an example then, if you had 3 exotics equipped, you could get X bonus. If you had 6 equipped, you could get an X amount of bonus. I don't know what these bonuses could be, but if you had, you know, set bonuses for running a 6-piece or a 3-piece exotic high-end build, then again you start to leave those builds viable, even though you're giving up some stats that you could get elsewhere from a classified gear set, because you're gaining something else that you can't get from classified gear sets. Again, agents, this is just my opinion, my thought line on builds going forward. I don't want to see build diversity go out the window, but I do personally feel, having looked into it, that high-end builds, exotic builds, could be pushed to one side because they just won't be up to par with classified gear sets. And we know Massive want classified gear sets to be powerful. That is fine. I accept that. I think the route they are going down with them is very good. I just think you need to bring other things up to match them. Now, I'm going to have to wrap the video up a little bit earlier than I wanted to, guys. As you can hear, the carnival is going on outside, and the music is going to get very loud in the background in a minute. But as always, please, agents, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. Like the video if, of course, you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. There are plenty more Division videos coming your way. And as always, agents, thank you very much for watching. Until the next video, I'll catch you all soon.